Hello there, my lovelies. Today's the day, by the look of it. 7 o'clock tonight, we will get a better idea of what's going on. I thought I'd just quickly jump on here because I just thought I'd have a bit of a rant about something that I don't know whether the rest of you feel the same way as I do. Um, Tonight, hopefully, we're going to get an idea of how things are going to look going forward. The thing that's really pissing me off at the moment is all the speculation, scaremongering, rumour mongering, whatever you want to call it, that the press are doing regarding what's going to be announced tonight, and then having the fucking cheek to say that the people of this country are getting sent mixed messages by the government, and they're the ones that are going to step in and make things a bit more easier for us to understand. Now, I'm not a genius, before you all jump on this and take the piss, but I consider myself to be of average intelligence, and I can fucking understand what I've been told since the latter part of March about what I need to do to help this thing get better. I need to stay the fuck indoors and only go out when it's essential, and that's that. Now, if other morons in this country can't understand a basic message like that, there's no fucking hope. So you might as well think they are the minority. The majority of us are like you and I, do what we're told. And we do appreciate that the better we stick to this, the less we're in it for the long haul, and the more we can get back to kind of being with our families and being with our friends again and having a kind of a semi-normal life. However, what doesn't fucking help is the press trying to either, at these briefings and when they're doing their questioning, looking for a way of tripping up whoever's doing the briefing for that day, or tripping up the medical experts, rather than just reporting the fucking facts and tell us what we need to know. They're more intent on either tripping up the politician that's making that briefing, or getting their face on TV for 5 minutes and thinking they're asking some incredibly intelligent question, but nothing that we actually need to know. At the end of the day, the reason why these fucking idiots have been deemed essential workers by the government is that they are the link between the government and us to tell us what's going on, and they're fucking not. They're making shit up. They've got nothing to report. They kind of assume things and print it in the press. That is why there's mixed messages going out there, because people open the paper. Oh, well, this is going to be said, and that's going to be said, and that's going to be said. Oh, we've got sources have told us. Well, who are your fucking sources then? A couple of days ago, there was a press conference, one of the briefings, and someone said that they'd been told some certain facts and figures, and the politician on the briefing actually called them out and said, well, who gave you that information? Oh, I'm not prepared to share my sources. That's why you haven't got a fucking source. It's because you haven't got one. You just made that shit up. It's similar to the whole thing with Sky Sports, saying that they've sources close to Sky Sports, sources close to the football club or whatever, have told us this. No, they haven't. You've just sat in an office and made the fucking thing up. So it's not a source that's told you it, it's someone's made it up in the office. And that's what's going on now. And we don't need that. There's many things we don't need at the moment. We don't need bullshit in the press that people read and go, well, if it's in the newspaper saying that he's going to release all these things on Monday, I might as well go the fuck out now. No. Until 7 o'clock tonight, everything's as it was since the 23rd of March or whenever it was. Nothing has fucking changed. But the press keep piling on in their newspapers all this bullshit that they're making up, and that's what's confusing people. I'm not confused by what I need to do, and I would imagine most of you watching this and most of the majority of the population are intelligent enough to listen at 5 o'clock and understand what you're being told and what you have to do and what you don't need to do. And it's basic. It's a basic thing. Stay indoors, and if you don't need to go out, don't go out. It's not difficult to understand. The problem is there's people in this country that are choosing to deliberately ignore it, not because they don't understand. They're stupid for another reason. They're stupid because they're fucking ignorant, and they don't give a shit about the people around them or anyone else. It's all about them. I saw yesterday Metropolitan Police gave out a statement saying that they gave up. because they were going around the parks to make sure that people were just going out for exercising, and there were that many people in London parks yesterday having picnics and sitting there having a beer in the park. They didn't have enough police officers to get them all out. They were swamped. These are the morons that are going to keep this thing going and going and going and keep moaning about, oh, when we're going to be on when we're going to have lockdown released. We'll have lockdown released when you stupid fuckers do as you're told, like everyone else is doing. You know, it's all right sitting there, oh, I can't handle being indoors, I can't handle being indoors. Well, none of us fucking can. But we have to do this thing because we know it will cut down and make it's not going to be such a long haul. I'm doing what I'm doing, one, to keep myself happy and keep myself healthy. I'm doing it to keep my family healthy, and then to keep the rest of the world around me healthy. So I'm staying indoors, only going out when I need to, taking precautions when I go out. And yes, it's hard. Of course it's fucking hard. But then life isn't easy, and you're going to get moments in life when it's fucking hard. But you don't sit there going, well, I'm not going to do it because I don't like it. Well, there's loads of things in life that we don't like doing, but we have to do it. I don't like paying fucking bills, but I have to pay them. I don't like paying income tax, but I have to pay it. And it's the same thing with this. I don't like seeing 600 people reported as being registered as dying every day of the week. So I'm doing this to try and bring that down. But these ignorant fuckers just want to sit there and go, oh no, I'm not doing it, I'm not doing it. The press have said that he's going to say this as of Monday, everything's going to be released. No, they haven't fucking said that. This is again where people with a modicum of intelligence listen to what they're told. Every week, whatever Secretary of State has come out has said the same thing. On Sunday, a map is going to be given out of what's going to be doing going forward. And it's only going to be incremental changes, and they will get bigger and bigger and bigger as the situation gets better and better and better. Now, I fucking understand that. I'm sure you understand that. But, oh, no, the press have to kind of muddy the waters, make stuff up. Then the other thing we're getting at the moment are opposition parties and the other kind of prime ministers or elected leaders of the other home nations all wanting to try and outdo each other. So you've got kind of like Wales have to jump in there first and say what they're going to do first. Why can't you wait until 7 o'clock when the majority of the UK is going to be told? Scotland keeps saying we're going to do this. No, we're not. Yes, we're going to do this. No, we're not. Wait and do it all at the same time. Have a press conference 7 o'clock tonight. England get their one. Scotland get their one. Northern Ireland get their one. Wales get their one. Why can't we do it all at the same time so everyone gets the same message at the same time? But no, they all want to try and outdo each other. The same with opposition parties. You've got this guy who's been in a fucking job 5 minutes of the Labour leader coming out, oh, they're doing it all wrong. This is all wrong. That is all wrong. Blah, 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 blah. Well, why don't you, instead of just sitting there going, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong, pipe up and say, but this is what we could do to put it right, and make suggestions, make constructive suggestions. Don't stand there like a petulant child at Prime Minister's question time asking ridiculous fucking questions. Come up with answers. At the moment, we really shouldn't be, well, not we, but political parties shouldn't be thinking about point scoring. There shouldn't be any kind of electioneering going on at the moment. All the parties should be working as one together to try and get over this, because at the moment you've got this guy who's trying to make an impression. Now, he's just not long been given the Labour leader's job, so he's trying to make an impression. So he's just literally arguing things just for the sake of arguing. Now, it doesn't matter what your voting preference is when it does come around to elections. At the moment, that goes out the fucking window. Because at the moment we should all be working together and thinking together as one. And that's what these politicians should be doing. Don't point score. Point score doesn't do us any favours, because we don't get any information out of it. We just hear the same questions being asked again and again and again, but just slightly phrased differently. Like the briefings after the press conferences after the briefings. It's the same questions every day, just worded differently. They just keep thinking, if we keep asking the same questions and battering away again and again and again, perhaps one of these secretaries of state will slip up and make an error. And then we can go, ha ha, we're the ones that made him make a mistake. I'm not being funny, but the reason why we have these briefings is because we need to be given the information directly and know what's going on. I don't want to hear mistakes made. I want to hear it properly. I want to hear it straight, kind of like from the horse's mouth. Now, yes, politicians, generally speaking, you don't kind of take them at face value. But at the moment, we're kind of having to. because no one else is going to give us this information properly. The press are just going to make random crap up. Obviously, TV stations have got their agendas against the government. The BBC have got their agenda against the government. And it's so blatantly obvious in the way that they're questioning. They don't question and ask questions that maybe we'd want to know the answers to. They're just, again, trying to just trip up whoever they're talking to. If anything, what this whole coronavirus situation has proved is that our press in this country is fucking rubbish, because it doesn't tell us what we need to know, and what it does tell us either isn't the truth, which I know people are going to sit there going, well, of course, you idiot, the press never print the truth. We know that. But at times like this, you don't need bullshit. You don't need someone sitting in an office going, well, we're going to say that Boris is going to say this, and this, and print it. Because some people read that and think that's it. And that's why all these fucking idiots went flooding to the parks yesterday. Because the press said, oh, well, Boris is going to say we can go out as many times a day as we like. And social distancing, as long as we stay 6 foot apart, we can do what we like, when we like, how we like. No, that's never been said. They were saying that he said that he's going to unlock loads of things. He's never said that. It's going to be incremental. So it's going to be the view going forward. So it's probably going to be what things they're intending that could possibly be done this month. They maybe look to June, and maybe look to July, and maybe look to September. So as they keep saying, the key thing is that we're going to get a map of how things are going to be going forward. So it isn't going to be he's going to come out at 7 o'clock and say, that's it, we don't think there's a problem, everyone go back to how you behaved before. That ain't going to fucking happen. And most of us, like me, with a minimum of intelligence and common sense, know that's not going to happen. But unfortunately, the dickhead element of this country do think that's going to happen, and the press are making them think that by saying, well, I think he's going to say this and I think he's going to say that. Well, how do you know? You know, all these secretaries of state have stayed kind of loyal to their prime minister by not giving out information and saying you're going to be told at 7 on Sunday. We've been told for the last week that at 7 p.m. tonight, we're going to get a better idea of what things are going forward. Just be fucking patient and wait. That's the main thing we need to do. Just sit and wait. All we've been told to do is stay at home. Stay at home, stick Netflix on, stick Amazon Prime on, watch something on the telly, play a board game, play a computer game, do whatever you want to amuse yourself, and just know 7 p.m. tonight, stick your telly on and listen to what's going to happen. That's all we've been asked to do. It's not a major thing. But the press are kind of jumping all over this. The other thing that worries me at the moment and concerns me is everyone keeps piping up saying we need more money for this, we need more money for that. What about this money for that? What about this money for this? Let's think about this sensibly. No one wants to see a business go to the wall, but I don't want to see loads of people dying. So sometimes something's got to give. And if it was my choice, I would sooner say, well, okay, I know I don't run a business, so maybe I'm a bit biased on this. I think the bigger picture and the bigger priority at the moment is getting the virus under control and less people dying. I don't give a shit if some place that makes gin in Manchester can't open and charge exorbitant prices every night because they're not open at the moment, and they're going on the news whining and moaning saying, oh my god, if we do reopen and we have to social distance, we're only going to make about a 25% 30% profit, rather than a 75% profit. Well, don't be a greedy fucker for one, and don't be a selfish fucker, because at the moment people are dying, people have lost family during this. That's the bigger picture. That's the bigger thing to be concerned about, not whether when you can get back to ripping the public off. It's like all these shops that say that that the press is saying they're going to be open. Garden centres, please explain to me what is essential about a garden centre. Okay, people need to get out in their garden, and perhaps it'll encourage people to stay in because they do gardening, but it doesn't make it essential, because what no one thinks about in any of this is that it's all very well saying you've got to get businesses back up and running and let's get people back to work as quick as possible. Think about the people that have got to do that job. If I worked in a garden centre at the moment and I was under threat that I've got to go back and work, I wouldn't be happy. I wouldn't feel comfortable. I'd be very anxious, because the virus is still out there. It's still killing hundreds of people on a daily basis. And you're saying to me that isn't the most important thing. The most important thing is I've got to sell fucking watering cans and tulips. No, that's not a priority. A priority is making sure that the rate of death and the rate of infection goes down and down and down and down. I, for one, will say that if all this hoo-ha about rushing people to get back to work, which could be the press winding this up and stirring the pot again, from where I am, I'm not a shielded person. I am in a kind of a vulnerable kind of group in regards to medical conditions I've got. I, for one, won't be happy if I'm forced to go back to work and I've got to sit on a crowded train. Because from what they're saying is, even when the trains are back up and running kind of semi-normal, 1 in 10 people will be able to get on the train for social distancing, which either means one or two things for me. I've got to set off at stupid o'clock in the morning, or I've got to risk my health and hope that I can get on a train. I'm that 1 in 10 that can get on the train. Now, it's all very well on my journey in, because on my journey in, I'm the start of the journey. I'm the very first stop, the very first station. So I probably will get on. Coming home, completely different kettle of fish. It's going to come through London and through Croydon before it gets to where I get on. So the likelihood of me getting on at East Croydon to get home is going to be fucking slim. So I've got to hang around on a train station platform for fucking ages, waiting for a train to get home. Now, I don't think that's right to put getting me back to work over my health. I don't think that's right to prioritise me getting into work than me being healthy. I think my health is more important than my work. So if that is the government's take on it, that they want to get people back to work as quick as possible, it's a little bit misguided at the moment. I know we're over the peak, but we're still kind of rolling in 300-400 people a day being reported as dying. Now, I know it doesn't mean they've died in the last 24 hours, but it's still people that have died during this virus. So that's not going down as low as it could do, where it's in a position where it's okay, you're all right to be on a crowded train. I'd feel even more sorry for any of you guys out there that have to get the underground into work, because that's crammed at the worst of times and at the best of times. But to actually try and be 1 in 10 getting on a tube train to get into London to go to work, it's going to be a bloody nightmare. Now, hopefully, the greedy bosses of companies will still turn around and say, if you live within walking distance of your job, or you can cycle, stay off public transport and get in. Any of those that have to get public transport because it's too far to walk and too far to cycle, you can continue working from home until things improve. Now, that's what I would hope would happen. But unfortunately, there are greedy bastard company owners and bosses that are safely tucked away in their little mansions somewhere, telling their people, send them out to work. We need to make more money. We need to keep the investors and the shareholders happy. Well, the investors and shareholders need to fuck off then. Because if they're more worried about how much money they make than whether their staff are going to end up falling down ill and possibly dying, and it's the bigger picture of, well, what are my dividends going to be like at the end of the year? Am I going to get an £8 million bonus or not? Well, fuck off. And that's where the government needs to step in and say this. Say, well, you companies have got to cancel these dividends for this year, because it ain't going to happen. And you're not going to send people back to work and force people to work and endanger their lives because some fat cat sat in a mansion somewhere wants an £8 million bonus at the end of the year. And that's unfortunately what's happening at the moment, that a lot of companies are, the minute they've got that inkling that they can get things up and running, they won't think about their staff. They will just think about, how can we make money again? And no one wants to see the pub trade completely die by the end of this, and that there's no pubs open. No one wants that. But also you've got to balance it out and go, at the moment, if we carry on what we're doing, we should be all right eventually. If we unlock everything too soon, it's not going to be much point having a pub, because there's going to be no one to go in it, because more people are going to die and you're going to have less of a clientele going in. So what's the point? What's the point of having a business that's open when the rate of infection is going to go through the roof and people are going to be dying left, right and centre? Anyway, I've done as much as I'm going to do on this. Hopefully 7 o'clock we'll get a better idea of this. I might possibly jump on again later tonight once all that's been announced, and kind of give a bit of a view on what it is. But it goes without saying, I say it at the end of every one of these rants, please stay safe, stay healthy. we will get through this, and at the end of this, you know, we'll come through this as better people. We already are better people, most of us at the moment, for what we're doing and what and going forward. You know, looking out for people and stuff like that. So there is some positives that come out of this. Anyway, I'm going to go. As I say, stay safe, stay healthy. Peace out, my lovelies.